So we got one of the Token Farm Golf Club guys here, and we're gonna have a wonderful example of what a baseball player's swing, if they kind of take the baseball form and technique and they bring it into golf, some of the common tendencies and issues that arise with that, mostly just because of the amount of normal weight shift that you would get onto your back foot and kind of that stepping forward motion in baseball. I think that translates a lot into golf by getting everything set up quite well. Unfortunately, generally it's quite high and the club face is very open. And so what we're going to see, just a grip check, even just to kind of exemplify that thought process as a baseball player. Can't really see with the resolution, but it kind of looks like a baseball grip. It doesn't look like our fingers are overlapping. But even in the beginning frame here, we can just see how far over rotated that backhand is over the club. And so we're getting a very, very strong right hand, and an effort for this is when we get to the top, it's just going to give us a bit of a better position if we're trying to roll the wrists over. We're going to have some more leverage. And so for a ball that's going right, this is generally a quick little fix that some people on the course will do is they'll start to strengthen up that right hand. So coming back, we start to see that big weight shift onto that back leg. And so the face angle position here is we're quite upright, toes kind of pointing up towards the sky, and we can see how much we're starting to get our weight back onto that right leg. So we do a great job loading it up. From here, we kind of see the hip starting to bow out and our upper body starting to lean back. And so this is sometimes a precarious position because going down, we're not going to have a lot of ability to push down onto that right leg because we're going to be having to have such a lateral shift or a sway back onto the ball, and it's really tempo driven of how to control that. We compound that with the fact that when we get to the top here, just how the position of the face is pointing straight down, and so without a down the line view, we can pretty easily say at this point that the face is wide open. The other thing too is that front foot, we have like Bubba Watson's got nothing on this. Our lead toe, I think we might have just the big toe still making contact, but overall, all of our weight is on that back leg. We do a really good job in transition to start the swing by having the lower body initiate, and we can see a nice lateral shift back towards the ball to get back over center, and our face kind of lined back up with that ball. So we're getting back to our initial position by we're kind of leaning off the ball and coming back onto it. So that sometimes can be a little tricky to navigate, but as we start to come down, we're going to see how this left knee stays quite flexed, and which is good. We want that thing to load up. And as we get near the end, we're going to start to see this straightening of the leg and this pushing off the right leg. So definitely a baseball player. We're using fantastic mechanics of our lower body. I think the unfortunate thing with this is our face in this position. We can see the entire club face here. And so what this is telling us is that her face is very open. We'd want to see something on a downline view. We want to have something matching our spining a little bit more. And so we're coming for a very inside and over the top position generally here. And so what we're going to see as a result is the frame going forward into the ball. We can see how from this frame we have kind of the entire emblem of the hand. We have our right hand is basically now underneath the club versus at address we had it very rolled over. And so with one frame going forward, we can see how that left wrist is now really trying to point down, and we're trying to turn the face down as hard as we can to try and let it close. And so the symptom of this going forward is we're going to see how as we come into impact, we're starting to get a little bit of this triangle going on with our arms, and this is that big, nice, juicy chicken wing that we're going to get going. And for this one, we have a healthy deep fried chicken wing with that amount of triangulation of the arms, kind of like in that putting stroke. And so one of the biggest things with that is our release is very hand dominant. We're not using a lot of the natural centrifugal forces to get that club to go. And we would want to see how that right arm would be nice and straight down the line. And this one, we kind of, our hands are matching up down there. And so this would allow us to know that, hey, we're getting a full release and that full extension of the club. It's always an easy way to see how much power we're transmitting into the ball. If we're kind of having this like retracting or feeling back because we're getting into a position where we're well too over the top, is that we're going to end up kind of hitting these weak little pushes. We're not going to get the full maximum load where this player in particular does a great job with their lower body. We can see how stable and how straight that leg is. We're really pushing up, and now his right hip has come all the way through the ball, and so we have phenomenal leg work. Just a little bit of changing and showing up with the hands will get us away from this deep fried boneless chicken wing.